Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to the third part of the Quarter Quell, the final Quarter Quell. We're never doing this ever again, ever in our lives. And today we are swapping out Pig Sick for Finish the Story. Now, I did this a long time ago in my channel, but in case you don't remember, here is how it works. You start off, but the idea is to get all the way to the end platform, all the way over there with them really poorly placed assortment of blocks, and every time you advance, you have to contribute to the story. So someone can say, for example, once upon a time. The next person can say there was a walrus, and then the next person says the walrus was called Bob. Bob liked to swim, like that, but hopefully more interesting. And
yes.
So that's how you have to do it. And if you stumble or you say something that does not add to the story, or you have no idea what to say, then you don't advance. You don't have to move back. That's just harsh. We'll never finish if we do that rule. So, yeah. So we're going to start off because Benedict hasn't played this game yet. We're going to start off with Leon if he comes back to his platform, and he's starting.
Yeah.
So, go.
Once there was a man, and his name was Ryan Johnson.
This Ryan Johnson, interestingly enough, owned a pair of unicorn slippers.
Okay, and these unicorn slippers was his favourite slippers.
And he used them to travel back in time.
What?
And what Ryan Johnson was able to do was he was able to fix all the mistakes in his film, The Last Jedi.
Oh, good.
He also used them. He also used them to fix other films, including Pirates of the Caribbean.
He also used them to go back and eat his favourite breakfast.
The problem was that he was really bad at editing mistakes and instead made the films even worse.
So what he did was he made the film end up where Luke ended up going out with Rey and marrying her at the end.
He also made sure the doctor's wife didn't die in one of the episodes, because the doctor did have a wife, but
I've never watched Star Wars.
Okay, and that's a good example of how not to use your turn.
Just don't watch The Last Jedi.
Okay, right, so that means that it's my turn. So, in a world without glass. That's my turn. Leon, it's your go.
Oh yes. In a world without glass, there were no windows, and that meant that because there were no glass, because the Apple computers banned all windows, and that included windows of houses as well.
But Microsoft had a secret plan upcoming to destroy Apple and its devices.
What Microsoft did was make Apple computers micro.
And they also use graphite as an alternative to glass, which is stronger, more resistant, and does not break easily.
And then someone came and ruined his plan, and it was Rasmus Strongbird who said,
alongside his sidekick Donald Trump,
and all the sidekick Obama.
Who was actually planning to betray them all and help his Apple overlords in memory of Steve Jobs' hologram.
So then Rasmus Stromberg did not know how to spell wait.
Sorry, what? No, that does not work. Get back.
It's in the chat. person saying, "Dude,
Okay,
I said,
could we?
wait."
Your stories always end up with you referencing someone. Okay, so we've gone from
I'm thoroughly
an apple
lost now.
conspiracy, and then suddenly someone not knowing how to spell the word wait in one go. That does not work. Move back.
Oh,
And it
Um,
is Maria's
Bar-
turn.
Oh wait, okay.
someone's
However, Barack Obama was soon caught by the group, and he was soon arrested
Just
and
so
put to
you can
jail.
start a new story when you have another turn and someone stumbled. Just so everyone knows.
Oh.
And then arrested. What?
Okay.
Cool.
No, I didn't quite hear what she said.
Barack Obama got arrested.
How does that make sense?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. So
Sidekick to getting arrested.
Okay.
No, because Barack Obama was betraying the rest, so and that he got found out, so then he was put to jail by
and then
Donald Trump.
And then Donald Trump was also betraying.
What?
So then he got arrested with Obama, and then Donald Trump beat up about Obama.
They both pleaded non-guilty and thus had to sit trial for what their charges were, and their charges were.
The charges were. This is my go.
Yes.
Their charges were that they were holding illegal parties and stuff.
What?
Hang on. Their charges, they've been betraying Rasmus Strongberg.
Oh yes,
and
they were
defeating
betraying
Apple.
Strongberg by going against Apple.
By having
How-
illegal parties.
Then, 3 years later,
Oh, what? Oh, and then 3 years later, Obama and Trump got out safe with loads of tattoos.
There was a tattoo artist in the prison cell, and he'd been arrested for coming up and sneaking up on people and giving them permanent tattoos in their sleep, which is exactly what happened to the entire prison. Somehow he's not been caught yet.
But isn't he in the prison? So obviously he's been caught.
Yeah, they don't know it's him. They don't know it's him who's doing it.
So then what he did was he started drawing tattoos on the wall of the prison.
That's not how tattoos work, but let's just pretend they do.
On the walls.
however, his tattoo equipment was then confiscated by the prison officers.
And then the prison officers thought it was fun to do tattoos. So then, so then one of them died because they stuck the needle in too far.
The person who died was actually the prison governor. They snuck up on him and tried to tattoo him in his sleep, but he was quite old, you see, so he actually died in the process.
And as he died, his ghost came out and said, "You should all not see The Last Jedi." That's final warning for departing into. Go away! Who is this random person?
Yeah, there's no form of revenge inflicted upon those who killed him. No,
His
just don't see
ghost
The Last
his
Jedi.
ghost also said you should watch all
No,
the seasons of
We
Merlin.
took this guy is the main villain in the story. This guy is the villain.
Sorry, what was that? You cut out.
The ghost also said you should watch all the seasons of Merlin by the BBC.
But
I think I should tell this guy to be gone.
and after they watched all of that, the ghost said to them, "If you don't watch The Last Jedi, they'll have to make them into ghosts too."
The ghost already said don't watch The Last Jedi, so...
What?
Yes.
Can I redo that then?
No, you lost your turn. Go back.
No.
No, yeah, you have to go back. Okay.
And then soon after, the Ghostbusters were called.
Stop, it's not your turn, it's not your turn. It's actually it's actually would be Benedict's turn to start a new
Right.
story.
Would it?
Yes, because
Okay.
because Maria started the last one, so you start this one.
Okay. Once upon a time.
Oh wait, no, it would be me starting a new story, wouldn't it? Because you lost your turn, so I start a new story. All right, let's get cracking.
This guy says "okay" like I do.
Coming soon to a movie theater near you.
There is a new film called "What Went Wrong."
What? Can you say that again?
A new film called What Went Wrong.
With The Last Jedi.
Oh my goodness.
From the prequel of What
No.
Went Right.
And the sequel to The Disaster Artist.
and everyone enjoyed this movie. It got a 4.5 star rating, and also the actor got a what do you call it?
Oscar. Academy Award.
Yeah, an Academy Award. So go watch it now.
I mean, I would make you go back for that, but let's just remember, it scored 64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's so good. And that's really good because the film was about Ryan Johnson making The Last Jedi, of course.
Oh, good.
It was so good that it was now on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, it's my go.
Yes.
And it was also so good that it went up on YouTube and you had to buy it.
However, some people found a way around that and uploaded illegal copies to all film sites imaginable and even to YouTube itself, but under different names.
Oh, and what they did was they mirrored the audio, the visuals, and put weird effects so it wouldn't get copyright detected.
However, the BBFC soon found out about this and then risen the age rating for the film.
You mean rose the age rating?
Rose the... I can't grammar today.
The age rating was risen to...
Rose.
Shut up. To 16 and up. And this meant kids that under 16 could not watch this very, very suitable movie.
However, this did nothing to prevent the fact that it was on illegal websites and on YouTube under different names, because that is a completely different problem on itself and people can still watch it. So the film company decided they were all idiots.
What?
The story of the film started off like this. There once was a person, and he thought that just because he had directed 2 low-budget films a few years ago, that he could direct a Star Wars film, of course.
But then the director soon realised that he got so bored of Star Wars, he went to a different franchise.
And this franchise was called Tarzan the Gorilla.
It was set in the expanded universe where Tarzan, Ariel, Hercules, Rapunzel, and Frozen were all set in the same universe and all had connecting stories.
And in this place, all of the different universes were teaming up against The Last Jedi, ready to kill everyone in it.
Oh wait, sorry, I was quickly responding to something. Sorry, yes.
Should I make her go back for that? She is winning.
No.
Yes.
No.
The public has spoken.
No, I'm sorry. No. It was really important. I'm really sorry.
Well, okay, if it was important, then all right. We'll let it slide this one time. Use your term wisely.
Okay. What did you say?
I said that all the people in this film were teaming up against The Last Jedi.
You just said...
Except the directors of Harry Potter.
Who weren't even in this discussion to begin with.
Yates, you mean? Whatever his name is.
I don't hear you say anything. Your mic's not on, I don't think.
Hello? Oh, wait. Okay.
Is he gone?
I mean, his character's still moving. He's obviously still on his computer, but we can't hear him anymore. I love this. He jumped and then he turned and looked at me as if to say, "It's your turn now." And he said, "What?
Hello?
Hello."
Hi.
What happened? Okay, what did you say? What was your
I forgot now.
Okay, let's just end it there and let's start a completely new story. How about that?
Yes.
Let's see.
Did you guys seriously not hear me?
No, we could not hear you at
I
all.
said something about Harry Potter. That's what I remember.
Right, let's see. In the bottom of the ocean.
There was a place called the Upside Down from the Netflix series Stranger
Have you got
Things.
no original ideas whatsoever? You always go back to something that's already been made.
Also, in the bottom of the ocean, there were mermaids.
Thank you.
That was retcon everything I said.
And fishes that forget things.
And crustaceans that remember things.
And that also meant that they had a war between the Forgetters and the Rememberers, who was better.
Very fortunately, the Rememberers won because they knew what they were fighting for, whereas the Forgetters, they don't know what they're doing.
And in the middle of the fight, the forgetters was like, "Whoa, why are you attacking me, man?"
The Rememberers end up being so guilty that there was a momentary ceasefire.
And there was also a new international law dedicated around the apology for this war and why it should not happen again.
However, during Christmas, they all played sea football.
But then they forgot what they were playing, so then one of the goalies got whacked in the face by the football.
The Rememberers also remembered something else. The common laws of physics that dictate you can't play football under the ocean.
And as a result, they realised that everything they saw in a football was imaginary, and the football disappeared into nothing.
However, the next day, war broke out again.
But this time, it wasn't just any war. It was a war about...
It was a war about nothing, because the Forgetters actually didn't even show up this time.
Because they forgot.
Therefore, the Rememberers were left waiting for 100 years for their war to start. In the end, they set up a town and everything until one day the Forgetters actually remembered and they weren't expecting it, so they stormed in on the town. And in the end, the Rememberers ended up being the ones who were at fault and didn't know anything.
Ooh, that's a pretty good twist.
Then, a few years later, Doctor Who travelled into the sea
Not
in the
the whole
depths
Doctor Who,
of the
just
sea.
Save the argument again.
Did you say duck too?
No, Doctor Who.
The Doctor.
He
Can
is
we
not
change that now
called
to
Doctor
the
Who.
Doctor?
He is called the Doctor. His character's name is not the Doctor Who.
So could you
The
repeat?
Doctor,
Could you repeat that?
the Doctor from Doctor Who, appeared in the middle of the war.
But then he obviously didn't because he would drown in the middle of the war.
However, he used
They have
his
space equipment.
He used his alter ego and shapeshifted into the Doctor.
But then he also realised that ducks can't actually swim underneath the water for that long, so he drowned.
That was a very sad space funeral.
Space!
Well, it's
Space funeral?
But then they remember they can't go into space because then they'll lose air up in space. And so they just...
The Doctor was teleported in space.
So they stuck underwater.
To solve this problem, they decided that the aliens should use a technique to extract all the water and blast it off into space. This resulted in even more death, and now there is an entire belt of fish corpses circulating the sun.
And then it turned out that the sun was nice, and he put everything back together because he's a nice son.
However, unfortunately, a billion years later, the sun exploded.
And that... What happened there?
And then everyone had to move over to Mars because without no sun, all the plants would go and there'll be no water and all sorts. So.
Fortunately, few people actually know this, but there is actually an ice cap that is on the north of Mars, which melted and made a new sustainable water source for a while.
And then we came in to... Well, because it was sustainable, Mr. Reed came in and gave a lesson about why things should be sustainable.
So Mr. Reed survived a
Where am I
billion
meant
years.
to be again? I forgot which Pokemon am I on.
What?
You're on this one.
Oh yes, this one, yeah.
No, he's on the other one. He's on the one next to me.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, Mars was not far enough away to be damaged by the sun from the supernova.
So Mars continued in its state, but then two asteroids came from two different directions, and they only had an hour to get ready and go to a different, I don't know, planet.
Little did they know that the asteroids were actually spaceships in disguise, for two astronomers wondering why the sun, which is not big enough to make a supernova, managed to do so.
So then what happened was Mr. Reed taught them everything they need to know about making a sustainable escape to a planet. And that's what he did.
Then Mr. Reed, the astronaut, soon realised he was going to die in an hour. So during that time, he watched Rick and Morty.
But then he realised that Rick and Morty was a terrible show, and he's seen enough of Pickle Rick.
The end.
Wasn't Rick just in it for one episode? And that was the theme.
Oh my goodness. Okay, at the end we're going to do a little bit of a recap before I have to go. So the first story that we had, I think, was about someone Strongbow, who was the CEO of Microsoft, and had to try and take down Apple because there was no glass. Microsoft used graphite on their computers and teamed up with Donald Trump and Barack Obama. Obama was going to betray them and help Apple to keep its hierarchy, and then he got arrested. Trump also got arrested, so therefore they made a tattoo artist who tattooed them, and then got caught in prison. The prison guards decided to tattoo the governor and killed him in order to not see The Last Jedi. Next,
We should have.
there was a
We
war
should have.
between-
We should have included.
Yes.
We should have included Disney because they're kind of taking over a lot of things.
I mean, we did include Star Wars, I guess.
But that
Yes, they
wasn't.
did go in Star Wars. It was Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
So-
So yes, we also had, of course, the Ryan Johnson Last Jedi whole malarkey, and deciding to use Tarzan and the Tarzan expanded universe to take down all the characters in The Last Jedi. And then the final story was about a war at the bottom of the ocean between the Forgetters and the Rememberers. Well, two wars, in fact. One of them, they forgot how they were fighting, and the second one, they forgot how to show up. They actually ended up making the Rememberers wait for 100 years before they arrived, eventually blasting them all up into space and making a bunch of fish corpses. And then also, we had two astronomers wondering why the sun made a supernova, and Mr. Reed watching Rick and Morty.
I think the best one was the underwater one.
I think so too. I like that one.
Because in the end, the Forgetters end up winning almost.
Oh my goodness. I think I might try and make that into a comic strip or something like that. Just our voices over that, make it a separate video as well.
Mr.
So, yeah,
Reed watching Rick and Morty.
What are you doing?
we need to edit out all my name now.
But we didn't use your name.
Yeah, once.
In this
Oh,
video.
I'll find it. Don't worry. So anyway,
I'm
lads and
not going
ladies,
through videos that I've been
that
in.
will be
Oh, remember when I cut out?
Yeah,
be
you
it
were looking
for now.
around at us and then you didn't see what happened.
All right, so please stay tuned for the
There's a
rest.
Christmas tree in the distance. I need to go there. Let's all go there. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. See me? Follow me. Follow me to the Christmas tree.
Wait, what Christmas tree?
It's
Yeah.
in the distance. Can you see it? Come here to me. Yeah, you can see it. I'm going there.
No, I can't.
Follow
see
me.
it.
All right, well we're going off to find a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I've been there. I'm right here. TPA to me.
Oh my goodness. I was trying to make it.
Oh,
All right, we'll see you guys later. Stay swag.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit weird looking. Honestly, it's a Christmas tree, but it's Minecraft.
We're trying to end the video.
Yes, we are trying to finish the video here. So, on that note, please be sure to leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.